What is up, guys? Yes, we are here. This is a yearly tradition on my channel. Yep, it's time to do my complete Blu Ray collection for 2023. And holy shit, guys, this is going to be such a long video. Probably longer than last year's Blu Ray collection video. But you know what? These videos just get more fun and much more tiring to do. But you know what? I do this for you guys. You guys love my Blu Ray collection videos, so of course, it's a yearly occurrence. I have to do this every single year. And yes, my Blu Ray collection has been growing since 2022, so maybe this video will be longer than it was in the last Blu Ray collection video. So, of course, go grab some popcorn, go grab any privileges, because yes, this is going to be a very long video. Probably the longest video that I'm doing on this channel. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. This is definitely going to be fun. I'm doing this in the same order, of course, with numbers A to Z. And you're probably wondering, the footage looks pretty different from the last Blu-ray collection videos. Yes, I'm using my actual camera for this Blu-ray collection video. I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm just going to do a challenge for this Blu-ray collection video using my actual camera instead of my phone, because the quality does not look the best. So, hopefully you guys grab your beverages, because this is definitely going to be a fun video. So, of course, let's get started on my complete Blu Ray collection for 2023. So, of course, we're going to start off with the numbers. Now, this is definitely going to be a rapid-fire Blu Ray collection video, because if I explain every single one of these movies in my Blu Ray collection, this video will be 5 hours long. I will talk about some of them, but most of them I'm going to go rapid-fire. So, starting off with numbers, here we go. So, first off, we have Free Tender Humor, pretty underrated Western film that's directed by James Mangold. 8 Mile. 10 Things I Hate About You, one of my favorite rom-coms of all time, one of my favorite also coming-of-age movies of all time, and probably one of the best Shakespearean adaptations of all time. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. 10 Cloverfield Lane. 12 Angry Men. I got 3 Criterions in my collection, and man, I'm so proud to own this movie. Such a great black and white film, highly recommend it. 13 Hours, very surprising Michael Bay film. 17 Again, very weird movie from rewatch. 1917, fantastic movie. 2 of my favorite comedies of all time, 21 and 22 Jump Street. Still waiting for the third one, or Men in Black spinoff, because those 2 movies are some of the best comedies that I've ever seen. Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, I want to see them back together. 28 Days Later. The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I feel very related to Steve Carell in this movie, except I'm not 40. I'm a virgin, and I have action figures in my collection, so not in this collection, like I have an action figure collection, so yeah, I feel very related to Steve Carell in that movie. 42, rest in peace Chadwick Boseman. 50-50, a comedy movie about cancer, and they pulled it off. It's one of the most impossible things to pull off, but somehow this movie did it. 50 First Dates. 65. I know a lot of people hate this movie. I enjoy it for what it was. It's not a great movie, but, you know, it's enjoyable for me. 101 Dalmatians, classic Disney. You're going to see a lot of Disney films in my collection. 127 Hours, yep. The arm cutting scene. One of the most intense scenes ever. 300. Finally, I own this movie. 500 Days of Summer. I wanted to own this movie for a very long time. Now I finally got it. This is one of my favorite romance movies of all time. Another great Joseph Gordon-Levitt romance movie. So, yeah, this movie is fantastic. Highly recommend checking it out if you're a big fan of romance movies. And the last movie in the numbers category is 2001: A Space Odyssey. I want to see a 70mm version of this in theaters. I literally do want it. Okay, now we're going to move on to the A's. Here we go. We got the A-Team. Abominable, yes. I said abominable in my review. How embarrassing. About Time, very underrated rom-com movie with a bit of a science fiction twist. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and When Nature Calls, classic Jim Carrey. The Accountant. Ad Astra. The Adventures of Tintin. I still haven't rewatched this movie since 2011, but I found out pretty cheap. The Aftermath. Man, Keira Knightley is so attractive in this movie. Why do I own this? I have no idea myself. Air Force One, damn it, get off my plane. Akira, one of the best anime movies in my opinion of all time with some Studio Ghibli films. This one's badass. And I heard that Taika Waititi is going to do a remake of it. Alice in Wonderland, the original, don't own the remakes because they suck. Speaking of great Disney films, Aladdin in my top 3 favorite Disney films of all time. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. And of course, the remake of Aladdin, which a lot of people didn't like. I really enjoyed it. Alita Battle Angel, with this awesome slipcover, by the way. Man, James Cameron, Robert Rodriguez, do more of these. I find this movie extremely underrated. What a great film. You're going to find a lot of underrated movies in my Blu-ray collection. This is not one of them, but I liked it as a kid. Alvin and the Chipmunks. I only owned the first one because I loved it as a kid, so childhood nostalgia never gets away from me. We have Alien, one of the best movies of all time in my opinion. We have Aliens, great sequel. Alien vs. Predator, fun guilty pleasure movie, and one that no one appreciates, Alien Covenant. I really enjoyed Alien Covenant. Almost Famous. Now, some American movies. We have American Assassin, American Gangster, American History X, American Psycho, American Sniper, and American Werewolf of London. American Ambulance, just kidding, Ambulance. That would have been a terrible title. The Amazing Spider-Man. Why do I own this on 4K? Probably the worst Spider-Man film, in my opinion. Anomalisa. Interesting stop-motion anime film. Anchorman, so hilarious. Annabelle, only the basement scene was the best part of that movie. Annabelle Creation, probably the best movie out of the Conjuring spin-off movies. Conjuring. Why did I say Conjuring? It sounds weird. Annabelle Comes Home. Great to like this movie, actually. Not bad movie. Aquaman, not looking forward to Lost Kingdom, to be completely honest with you. Just didn't get my attention. Apollo 13, Houston, we have a problem. Speaking of we have a problem, I haven't seen Apocalypse Now still. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I will watch it. I promise. But, yeah. I still haven't seen Apocalypse Now, but I own it. Apocalypto, a movie I have seen. This movie's very underrated. Antlers. We have Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp. 2 really fun movies, and probably the most disappointing movie of this entire year so far, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yeah, I was very let down by that movie, to be honest with you. Armageddon, cheesy Michael Bay. The Aristocats, interested in a live-action remake of this, I'm not gonna lie, because no one talked about that movie. AI, Artificial Intelligence, not the best Steven Spielberg film, but not the worst in my opinion. I enjoyed that film. Arrival, Denis Villeneuve, that's his name, not Dennis Villeneuve, like I said for most of my videos, it's Denis Villeneuve. Only time I'm gonna say it's name right. Thank God I say his name right. Denis Villeneuve. I'll learn that. Argo. R for Christmas. I'll probably review this movie at Christmas time. It's one of my favorite Christmas films. And I didn't put that film in my favorite Christmas films. Why didn't I? I was stupid. Australia. Terrible Australian accent. Even though I live in Australia, it's embarrassing. The 4K of Avatar. I haven't watched this on 4K yet, so very excited to check it out. I'm pretty sure it's going to look good. And Avatar: The Way of Water. This movie, I think it's better than the first one, and this is a great theater experience for last year. Man, this movie blew me away. Finally, we had Avatar 2. We have these awesome blockbusters right here. We have The Avengers. I haven't watched this film in a long time. Avengers: Age of Ultron. And these 2 masterpieces right here, Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame. Those movies could have just ended off the MCU in general, but we gain more of these, you know, big build-up MCU movies. And after Secret Invasion, I'm just done with the MCU, just to be completely honest with you. Okay, A's done, now we're up to the B's. So here we go. We got The Bad Guys, pretty underrated DreamWorks movie. We have Bad Boys. Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys for Life. Now they're going to make a 4th movie, and that should have been the 4th movie's title. Such a missed opportunity. Bad Boys for Life. That would have been awesome. But still excited for that movie. I love Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Baby Driver. Probably my favorite Edgar Wright film. That film is fantastic. Babylon. In this really nice steelbook. A movie that a lot of people were pretty mixed on. I really enjoyed this movie. Like, Damien Chazelle goes nuts in this movie. Seriously. Baywatch. Can't believe I own that movie. Bambi. Why they're doing a live action version of this? Seriously. Come on. It's too dark for a live action film. 1.21 gigawatts. Back to the Future, one of my favorite movies of all time, with Back to the Future Part 2 and Back to the Future Part 3. Definitely one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Love all of them. Now we have the Batman movies. Here we go. We got Tim Burton's Batman, my favorite out of the Tim Burton movies. And I know, I haven't reviewed the Tim Burton movies yet with The Flash. Such a missed opportunity. Maybe when the Batman 2 comes out, I will review the rest. But let's hope, because normally when I schedule things, I forget afterwards. So hopefully I remember this time. Batman Returns. Batman Forever. Why I got that 4K? I guess the Blu-ray wasn't selling. And yes, Batman and Robin. One of the worst comic book movies ever made, but at the same time, it's just one of the most fun comic book movies ever made. Because of how terrible it is. But we have these 3 fucking awesome movies right here. We have Batman Begins. The Dark Knight. Still one of my favorite movies of all time. And you can see there's a Joker poster right there. And The Dark Knight Rises. Appreciated more times I've seen it. I love The Dark Knight Rises. Love the Dark Knight trilogy. Another one of my favorite trilogies of all time. But Batman movies aren't over yet. Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. The Lego Batman movie. I want to get more Batman animated films because I'm a Batman fan. I love Batman. I just want like a box set of all Batman animated films. I know Mask of the Phantasm is getting on 4K, which I'll definitely get. But yeah, I just want a whole box set of all Batman animated films. That's just me. And the last Batman we got is The Batman. Probably one of the best comic book movies that came out this decade. Robert Pattinson fucking nails it. Matt Reeves, this is probably my favorite Matt Reeves film now. Yes, over the Planet of the Apes movies. This movie was so good. I watched this 4 times. Love this movie so much. Like, Robert Pattinson, once again, he just nails it in every single way. I cannot wait for the Batman 2. Coming out in the next 2 years. Beetlejuice. Very interested in the sequel coming out with Jenna Ortega playing the daughter. Perfect casting. Belfast. Beau is Afraid. Talking about a fucked up movie. Ari Aster, again. Another director that goes completely nuts with their movies. Beowulf. Another movie of my top 3 favorite Disney films of all time, Beauty and the Beast. I love this movie so much. And yeah, the remake, yeah. It's not terrible, but yeah. Suntan lotion, it's good for me. Classic. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Party on, dude. The Big Boss. Bruce Lee. I grew up with Bruce Lee as a kid. I'll definitely get Enter the Dragon when it comes out in 4K. Big Hero 6. Love this movie. The Big Lebowski. One of my favorite comedies. Big Trouble in Little China. Such a guilty pleasure. Such a fun 80s movie. The Big Short. Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Yes, I said it right. Birdman. And The Birds in this really nice steelbook. This is probably one of my favorite steelbooks in my entire collection. And classic Alfred Hitchcock. Black Adam. I enjoyed Black Adam. A lot of people didn't like it. I enjoyed it. Black and Blue. Black Hawk Down. You can see the pattern here. Black Panther. Once again, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. We will always miss King T'Challa. And Black Panther Wakanda Forever. A great memoriam of the actor himself and the character of T'Challa. Love Wakanda Forever. Black Swan. Black Widow. Definitely one of the most disappointing MCU films. Black Klansman. Blood Diamond. You're probably expecting another black title. Nope. That's done. Bloodfighter. Very underrated Mel Gibson movie. Check it out. Bloodshot. You know, it's a guilty pleasure. That's why I own it. This guy's your quarterback. When you think of him, you think of me. I love The Blind Side. That's such a sweet movie. Sandra Bullock definitely deserved that win. Did she win Best Actress? I think she did for that movie. Blade. Still gotta own the other Still have to own the other Blade movies. Sorry, I'm gonna stuff a little bit in this Blu Ray Collection video. Stutter, sorry. I apologize. Blade Runner. Great movie, but overrated as hell, in my personal opinion. But Blade Runner 2049 is different. Denis Villeneuve, another great win for him. Just, man, every time there's a Denis Villeneuve film, I get more excited like Christopher Nolan. We have the Bourne trilogy. I'm just doing one at a time. The Bourne Identity. The Bourne Supremacy, The Bourne Ultimatum, probably my favorite Bourne movie in the trilogy, and I don't own Bourne Legacy and Jason Bourne because they suck. Bohemian Rhapsody, yeah. I used to like it, but then I'm starting to dislike it just a bit. Bones and All, man, I really enjoyed this movie. It's a disgusting movie, but man, this is a fantastic romance movie, and very, like, original romance movie as well. The Bob's Burgers movie, just fucking great. Bolt, such a great Disney film, very underrated. Don't do a live action of that one, please. Come on. Boyhood. Brave, you know, for a rewatch, I rewatched this movie recently. It's not as bad as people were saying. I kind of enjoyed Brave now. But still not the best Pixar film. Braveheart. Brightburn, I'm still waiting for a sequel to this. I want a sequel to Brightburn. The Breakfast Club, eat my shorts. Just one of the best coming-of-age movies of all time. Probably the most iconic. Bridge of Spies. Brother Bears 1 and 2. Once again, I hate when they put original movies and straight-to-video sequels both together in one Blu-ray. I hate that. But Brother Bear Classic. Brother Bear 2, I honestly liked it as a kid, so I'm fine with voting it. A Bug's Life, pretty underrated Pixar film that a lot of people don't talk about anymore. Buried. This movie is one of the most intense films that I've ever seen. Ryan Reynolds in a coffin for a whole hour and 30 minutes. It's just so intense. This is one of his best performances before Deadpool. Bullet Train in this really freaking nice steelbook. I love Bullet Train. This movie was just a lot of fun. And the last in the B's, of course, is Bumblebee. In my opinion, the best Transformers movie. And Haley Steinfeld, just, man, one of my biggest celebrity crushes. Absolutely. Alright, now we're up to the C. So here we go. We have Captain America the First Avenger. Probably most underrated in the MCU. Captain America the Winter Soldier, still one of my favorite solo MCU films of all time. And Captain America Civil War, definitely my top 5 favorite MCU films. This film is epic. Where is that? We need more surprises back like this in the MCU. Where is it? Captain Marvel, praying that the Marvels is better. Captain Phillips, I'm the captain now. The Cabin in the Woods. Catch Me If You Can. Cars, I like this movie. I don't care. I like the first Cars. Cars 3 is not that bad. Just the ending, yeah, the ending kind of sucked. Wilson! I'm sorry, Wilson! Just a product placement as a supporting character. Amazing. Castaway is one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably my favorite Tom Hanks performance as well. Cape Fear. Casino Royale always will be my favorite Bond movie. Casino. Still haven't seen it. When Killers of the Flower Moon comes out, I will check it out. Candyman. This is the remake. I will get the original one day. Call Me By Your Name. The Call of the Wild. A lot of people didn't appreciate this movie. I really enjoyed it. Charlotte's Web. Another childhood movie. I really liked this movie as a kid. And yeah, I usually cry in this movie when Charlotte dies. It's very sad. Haven't seen the original though. We have the Chucky box set right here. Yeah, this box set is very damaged, but you know what? I'm still owning this. I love the Chucky movies. It includes Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, and Curse of Chucky. I will get Cult of Chucky one day, but this is an awesome box set, even though it's pretty damaged. You know, the Chucky movies, very iconic. And also, the remake of Child's Play. And Christine. If Stephen King is doing more remakes, adaptations, I would like to see a remake of Christine because it's good, but not perfect. Chronicle. Finally, we're getting a sequel to this movie. Yes, a sequel has been announced. I love Chronicle, one of my favorite found footage films of all time. The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. Still don't own Voyage of the Dawn Treader, but those two movies are fun childhood movies. Eat My Rubber, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Just a movie that you have to watch every Christmas Eve. It'll get you in the spirit. Speaking of Christmas, A Christmas Carol, the Robert Zemeckis version. Christopher Robin.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri, you interrupted my Blu-ray collection. How dare you? The original Cinderella. The remake of Cinderella, probably one of the better Disney live-action remakes. I love the remake of Cinderella. The Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Box set right here. Man, still love this box set. Still freaking love it. And of course, classic Spielberg. Shut up. Cloverfield. Cloud Atlas. Very interesting movie. I would say it's probably one of the most fascinating movies of all time. Coco. The Conjuring. One of my favorite horror films. The Conjuring 2. To me, my favorite Conjuring movie. Conjuring 3 Devil Made Me Do It. Yeah. Collateral. One of my favorite Tom Cruise movies, actually. I Have a Date with Lisa. Isn't it wonderful? Coming to America. Probably my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. Con Air. Contraband. A lot of people didn't like this movie. I actually find this movie kind of underrated. Cool Hand Luke. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. And here's a funny story about Cool Hand Luke. My uncle, his name is Peter. You've seen him in my old videos. He's the guy with the glasses in my old top 10 videos. I remember watching this as a kid. And my uncle told me this is a movie about Superman. Yes. He told me that Cool Hand Luke is about Superman. I think he's just trying to make me watch this movie. Oh, Peter really wants to watch this movie very badly. Yes, I still have that memory. But Cool Hand Luke, classic. Coraline. Unfortunately, this is the only Leica film I own. Yes, I need to get the rest of the Leica films, like Paranorman, Box Trolls, Cure and Two Strings. I really need to own those movies. Cruella. In this nice steelbook. We got The Croods. The Croods: A New Age. Fun anime films. We have Creed. Fantastic movie. Creed 2. The most underrated in the series. And Creed 3. Man, this movie... Jonathan Majors, despite from what he is doing right now, this is definitely his best performance. Crawl. The Crow. Rest in peace, Brendan Lee. Like the behind the scenes of this movie. Damn. And the last in the series, Crank. Talking about a crazy action movie. Like, man, this is definitely the most iconic Jason Statham movie I have ever seen with the Transporter. Okay, now we're up to the D. So, here we go. We got The Day After Tomorrow. Daybreakers. I finally saw this movie. This movie's actually pretty good. Check it out. It's pretty badass, actually. Days of Thunder. Daredevil. I can't believe Jennifer Gomez-Electra is going to come back for Deadpool 3. That's insane for me. And probably the rumors that Ben Affleck will come back as well. Interesting. I would like to see that, honestly. Death Proof. Probably my least favorite Tarantino movie. Detective Pikachu. Haven't rewatched this movie in a while. I will check it out. Deepwater Horizon. Deadpool, one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. Come on, Ryan Reynolds. This is the performance that we will always remember Ryan Reynolds. And Deadpool 2. And of course, I'm excited for Deadpool 3, just from those pictures of Deadpool and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine wearing the classic yellow suit from the comics. I'm freaking excited. Don't know what's going to happen with the writer's strike though, so I'm preparing for next year for being another delayed year. The Departed, fucking firefighters. Despicable Me. Despicable Me 2. Despicable Me 3. Not gonna own Minions, it sucks. Minions Rise of Gru. I'll get it when it's cheap. Yippee-ki-yay. The Die Hard quadrilogy. Yes, quadrilogy. Not all 5 movies, because the 5th movie, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. What a story, Mark. The Disaster Artist, probably the best James Franco movie. District 9, the best Neil Blomkamp movie, still, with Gran Turismo, that I will review soon. I'll get all those reviews done. Django Unchained, absolutely one of my favorite Tarantino movies. Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe 2, not as good as the first one. Oh, sorry. Dodgeball, such a hilarious movie. Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with its nice looking slipcover. Don John. Scarlett Johansson in this movie. Man. And Jessica Rabbit for his directorial debut. I want to see him direct more shit. It's just that great of a director. Great movie. Donnie Darko. Very weird movie. Dolphin Tale. Found this for like $2. And I remember watching this movie on a school excursion. So nostalgia always happens in my Blu-ray collection. Dread. Where's a fucking sequel to this movie? Come on. I want to see a sequel to this movie. That movie is awesome. Drive. The double feature of Dumb and Dumber and The Mask, two of my favorite Jim Carrey movies, absolutely. Hey, I guess they're right. Senior citizens, although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose. Dumbo, probably Disney's shortest movie, I would say. Classic. The remake of Dumbo, no steelbook, not a good movie, unfortunately. Dune, probably one of the best science fiction films that came out in a long time, and man, I'm excited for Dune Part 2. It's probably my most anticipated movie of the year. Make sure these movies don't fall. I got a couple more to go. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. I don't understand why this movie bombed the box office. This movie is so fucking fun. And I want to see more Dungeons and Dragons movies after this movie. It's such a fun movie. And the last in the D's, of course, is Dunkirk. And it's not steelbook. Good Christopher Nolan film, but definitely not his best in my personal opinion. Okay, now we're up to the E's. So here we go. We have Edward Scissorhands, my favorite Tim Burton / Johnny Depp movie. Edge of Tomorrow, not Live, Die, Repeat. Edge of Tomorrow. Hopefully the sequel's coming very soon. I'm still waiting for that. Age of 17. Haley Steinfeld is so pretty. Seriously. Eddie the Eagle. 8 Below. Pretty underrated Disney film. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. Elysium. Pretty underrated, actually. A lot of people don't talk about this movie. I think this is a pretty good Neil Blomkamp science fiction film. Elvis in this really nice steelbook. Definitely now my favorite Baz Luhrmann film. Austin Butler, Tom Hanks, just nailed it. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Empire of the Sun. Steven Spielberg's most overlooked movie in my personal opinion. Check it out. Christian Bale's first movie. Emperor's New Groove and Croc's New Groove. Yeah, Emperor's New Groove is so underrated. Encanto. Enchanted. The Equalizer. Yeah, I would say I'm looking forward to the third one coming out. I need to get the second one. Escape from New York. Classic. Eternals. A lot of people didn't like this movie. I honestly think this is the most underrated movie in the MCU. I just find this movie very different and original. E.T. From Home. Evil Dead. The Evil Dead is the original. Evil Dead 2. I need to review this movie this year. I need to. It's my favorite horror film of all time. Army of Darkness. Finally, I own Army of Darkness. And I would say out of the series, it's definitely my least favorite, but still pretty enjoyable. The remake of Evil Dead. And Evil Dead Rise. Such a fun movie that came out this year. Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie is so great. Ke Huy Quan, man, he deserves that Best Supporting Actor Oscar. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. Not a bad movie, actually. Pretty underrated. And Ex Machina. Very great movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Alex Garland. Great direction with that movie. Okay, now it's time for the Fs. So we got the Fantastic Beasts movies, Where to Find Them, The Crimes of Grindelwald, and The Secrets of Dumbledore. To me, not my favorite trilogies. I would say it's disappointing, and I'm glad they're not doing these movies anymore because they just get more disappointing, in my personal opinion. And speaking of franchises, we got The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, so boring. Fast 5, my favorite in the series. Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, rest in peace Paul Walker, and should have ended the franchise just there. But we have The Fate of the Furious. Hobbs and Shaw is just a fun, good time. And I will get Fast X when it comes out. We have the Family Guy Star Wars trilogy. We got Blue Harvest, Something Something Dark Side, and It's a Trap. I love these Family Guy Star Wars movies. They're just so hilarious. 4, very underrated suspenseful thriller that came out last year. Fantasia. I want to take his face off. The Fabelmans. This is my favorite movie of last year. Man, there's something just magical about this movie, and Steven Spielberg is still one of the greatest directors of all time, and this is definitely his passion project, and man, this movie was packed when I seen it, and everyone just had a total blast watching this movie, including myself and my friends. Love The Fabelmans so much. I cannot wait to rewatch this movie. The Fantastic Four double pack. This is the Tim Story movies. You know, I enjoyed them as a kid, so like, the first one was not that bad. I didn't mind the first one. Rise of the Silver Surfer kind of sucked, but I liked them as a kid. Don't own Fan 4 Stick because that movie sucked. And interested what they're going to do with them in the MCU. Fear, Mark Wahlberg's first acting movie, I would say. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This is one of my favorite teen movies of all time, one of my favorite comedies of all time, and probably my favorite John Hughes movie. Fences. I don't know if this is Denzel Washington's directorial debut, but this is a fantastic movie based on a stage play. Finding Nemo. Finding Dory. Can't go wrong with those movies. The Final Destination movies. Fun movies. Fighting with My Family. Screw it, I'm breaking the #1 rule. I'm talking about Fight Club because this is definitely my favorite David Fincher film. First Man. Flash. Oh. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, one of my favorite comedies of all time. Another impossible comedy to do about a breakup. Just so hilarious. Ford v Ferrari. Footloose. Can't go wrong with Footloose. I love me some Kevin Bacon. Just such a great movie. I agree with Star-Lord. This is one of the greatest movies. My name is Forrest. People call me Forrest. Forrest Gump. Great movie. The Founder. Focus. Pretty underrated movie, actually. I didn't mind that movie. Freaky. The Michael Bay's Friday the 13th. That I enjoyed, but I need to get the rest of the Friday the 13th movies. Frozen. You know what? My opinion has kind of changed with Frozen. I didn't find it overrated from rewatch. I actually now like Frozen. But I still think Frozen 2 is better in my personal opinion. The French Dispatch. It's an okay Wes Anderson movie, but I don't know. His movies are starting to go a bit low in my personal opinion. Free Guy in this nice steelbook. This is such a fun movie. Sean Levy. The Fugitive. Great Harrison Ford movie. This is probably one of my favorite performances by him. And last in the F's, Fury. Very underrated war film. Alright, now G. We have Game Night. Gangster Squad. Pretty underrated movie, actually. Check it out. And Emma Stone, man, she was attractive in that movie. Get Out, the first Jordan Peele directorial debut. Ghost Rider, another comic book guilty pleasure. From the same director of Daredevil. Ghostbusters, one of my favorite comedies of all time. Come on, this is a classic. Ghostbusters 2, not bad. It's better than the shitty 2016 movie. Ghostbusters Afterlife, cannot wait for the sequel to this one, I'm not gonna lie. G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra, why do I have this movie? I kind of liked it as a kid, so I own it. And I also got Retaliation. Both of them 4K, and you want to see something worse than that on 4K? Snake Eyes. Are you not entertained? Gladiator's so good. I don't know why they're doing a sequel to that, but I'm still curious about it. Goodfellas. For as far as I remember, I always want to be a gangster. The best Martin Scorsese film. The Good Dinosaur. Good Will Hunting. Once again, rest in peace Robin Williams. You will be missed. It's not your fault. The Goonies. Such a fun movie. Love The Goonies. Hey, you guys. Glass. The Good and Bad and the Ugly. One of the most iconic westerns of all time. Good Boys. Gone Baby Gone. Ben Affleck's directorial debut. Fantastic movie. Gone with the Wind. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Gone Girl. Another great David Fincher film. The 90s Godzilla. This movie is terrible, but I enjoyed it for what it was. The 2014's Godzilla. Much better movie than the 90s movie. It's such a good movie, in my opinion. Godzilla King of the Monsters. Nice steelbook, but I kind of grown to not like this movie as much. And we have Godzilla vs. Kong, my favorite movie in the, legacy monsterverse. I cannot wait for the follow-up to this one. The Godfather, classic. The Godfather Part 2, another classic. The Godfather Part 3, not so much a classic. Gremlins. The Grey, Liam Neeson versus Wolves, badass. The Grand Budapest Hotel, definitely my favorite Wes Anderson film with Fantastic Mr. Fox, which I need to own. The Green Hornet. Grease 1 and Grease 2. Grease is a classic. Grease 2 is horrible, but I liked it because of it. Gravity. Hasn't been loved, since 2013. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version. Need to get the original 60s one. And I got the Elimination Grinch, which is okay. Gran Turismo, get off my lawn. The Greatest Showman, it's an alright musical. The Great Gatsby, not a great movie, but I do like that golden Blu-ray case. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. In my opinion, I might say now, this is probably my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy movie in the trilogy. I love this movie so much. MCU, learn from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But those three movies are definitely one of my favorite MCU trilogies. I would say with the Captain America trilogy. So guys, we are done with this shelf right here. We got a shelf up there. We're going to get to that. So I'm going to set all these up right now. Let's have a bit of an intermission break. Go grab some snacks or wash off some snacks and buy some more snacks. Let's have a little intermission break. Welcome back, guys, from intermission break. Hope you have a really good break. Now, let's continue. So we got the H's now, and I want to start off with the Harry Potter complete box set. Man, I am in love with this franchise. I love the Harry Potter movies. It includes the Philosopher's Stone. I call it Sorcerer's Stone because it sounds better. Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. My favorite, honestly, it's an unpopular opinion, but I love Goblet of Fire. That's my favorite. I don't know, it's just very, very epic. But, you know, I love all the Harry Potter movies. You know, they're just part of my nostalgia in childhood. We have The Hateful Eight. Great Tarantino film, in my opinion. Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. I don't know why I own this movie. Hancock. This is a steelbook, not a Blu-ray case. That's pretty cool. I like those type of steelbooks. It's interesting. The Hangover. The only one you should own, not the other shitty sequels. Why is that a trilogy? Hardcore Henry, a fun first-person shooter movie. Hacksaw Ridge, great Mel Gibson directed war film, and I heard he's going to make another war film. Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day to You, and the director, Christopher Landon, he's going to direct a new Scream movie, which I'm very excited for. Happy Gilmore, another great Adam Sandler comedy. I know so many times I didn't get the original Halloween. That's it. I'm getting it this year. I don't care. But unfortunately, I have the 2018 Halloween movie, which is alright. Halloween Kills. Yeah, this movie sucked. Halloween Ends. Now, I don't hate this movie as much as everyone else does, but yeah, this is a disappointing conclusion. But I kind of liked this new story they put into it. It's just put into a wrong movie. That's just my personal opinion. The Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movies with Ron Perlman. The best Hellboy we've got. Love both of them. Yeah, I still have this. Hellraiser. The only one I have seen in the series. I haven't seen the remake yet. Heat. Her. Such a weird movie, but a very good movie at the same time. Hercules. Hereditary. I like this movie more times I rewatched it. It's an interesting story about Hereditary that at first I wasn't a fan of, and then I'd grown to like the movie. The Hitman's Bodyguard. Don't have the second one, it sucks, but this is just a fine body cop movie. Hidden Figures. High School Musical. Just childhood. I remember liking this movie as a kid. I will get the other movies eventually. How to Train Your Dragon. One of my favorite DreamWorks movies, but why is DreamWorks doing live action movies now? They're kind of the trend of Disney now. Like, what the hell, Hollywood? How to Train Your Dragon 2. How to Train Your Dragon in the Hidden World. Great animated trilogy, though. Speaking of trilogies, we have The Hobbit and Unexpected Journey. The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. And the unnecessary The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies. Yeah, to me, I don't hate this trilogy, but yeah, it's not the best. Lord of the Rings is definitely better. Hotel Transylvania, another trilogy. Hotel Transylvania 2. And Hotel Transylvania 3. Love all three of these movies. The fourth one sucked, but I really enjoyed those three movies. House of Gucci. Shut up, Marv. Home Alone. Just childhood nostalgia. and still a movie that holds up to this day, and I will always watch that film every Christmas. Hook. This is another one of my favorite films of all time. It's probably one of Steven Spielberg's most unappreciated films. This is probably the best Peter Pan movie we've got. Like, Rufio is a badass, but Robin Williams and Dennis Hoffman just fantastic in that movie. And it's just original. Hocus Pocus, another childhood movie. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the most, like, brutal and dark Disney anime films. Hugo, very underrated Martin Scorsese films. Check this movie out, especially if you love film. Ang Lee's Hulk, it's okay. The Hunger Games, and last in the H is Hunger Games Catching Fire. I don't own the other Hunger Games movies, but I will get them eventually before Songs and, the Ballad of Songs and, the Ballad, God, I forgot what it's called now. I am so embarrassed. The Ballad of Snakes and Sunbirds. I think that's what it's called. Very interested in that movie. Alright, now we're going to do the Eyes. Here we go. We got I Am Legend. Interested in the sequel that's going to be developed with Will Smith still involved and Michael B. Jordan. Speaking of Will Smith, I, Robot. I need to rewatch this movie again. I haven't saw that movie in a long time. I, Tonya. Cannot wait for Dumb Money to come out. That's also by the same director of I, Tonya. Ice Age. Childhood movie. In the Heart of the Sea. In the Heights. I love this movie so much. This is definitely one of my favorite musicals. Man, let me just get comfortable right here. Inception. One of my favorite movies of all time. My favorite Christopher Nolan film besides The Dark Knight and Oppenheimer. This movie is incredible. I love Inception so much. You know what? I'm going to leave it here and I'm going to watch it again. Interstellar, another Christopher Nolan film. Inside Out, a great Pixar film. Cannot wait for the sequel. Independence Day. G'day boys, I'm back. Inglourious Bastards. I know a friend that doesn't like this movie. You know who you are. The Incredibles, my favorite Pixar film of all time, still will always be. I love The Incredibles, so good. And also Incredibles 2. We've been waiting for this movie, now it's finally happened, and it exceeded our expectations. Such a good sequel. The Incredible Hulk, I would call this a Bug's Life of the MCU. No one talks about The Incredible Hulk, and it's finally on Disney+. The complete Indiana Jones trilogy. Love the first three, did love the fourth one. If you want to see my Indiana Jones review, look at my playlist. Indiana Jones, come on. Harrison Ford's most signature performance. Yeah. Indiana Jones movies. And yeah, I will get Dial of Destiny, not just to complete the series. I enjoyed the movie, even though it's pretty disappointing. The Invisible Man, the only great movie that came out in 2020, the worst year. Insidious. Insidious Chapter 2. Iron Man. The movie that started all with this entire MCU. And still with Captain America the Winter Soldier, with that movie, it's my favorite MCU movie. Like, solo movie. Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3. They're alright sequels. Isle of Dogs. Great Wes Anderson stop motion movie. Now this is cool. It's 1990 movie on Steelbook. Miniseries, sorry. The 2017's It on Steelbook. And It Chapter 2 on Steelbook. Like, all three of these It movies are on Steelbook. Awesome. Of course, I love the 2017's It. The rest are just, yeah, in my opinion. And the last in the Eyes, It's a Wonderful Life. Freaking classic, great Christmas film. I'll watch this film every single Christmas. Every time the bell rings, the angel loses its wings. Alright, now we're up to the J's. And starting off with my J's is the complete James Bond box set. Now, my friend Ethan has been requesting me to review all the James Bond movies each month. So each month I review one James Bond film. It's a good challenge. I would love to. I'll wait till a new Bond has been announced. By the time I finish the Bond reviews after that is announced by Spectre, I bet you the new Bond film will be out. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the new Bond is announced, I will definitely do it. And No Time to Die to complete the Bond movies. Jackie Brown, Jackass 3, and Forever. Why is it the first two on Blu-ray? I would definitely get him up because I really enjoy Jackass. Jack Reacher. Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit. Will you do you, Spanish ladies? Jaws, just a freaking classic. Love Jaws. Wow, put that cookie down now. Hey buddy, it's turbo time. Jingle All the Way, one of my favorite Christmas films of all time. It's one of the biggest Christmas guilty pleasures I watch every year. Jojo Rabbit. Joker, I love Joker. Joaquin Phoenix's, in my opinion, best performance, and yep, I'm excited for Joker 2 coming out next year. John Carter. Now, these movies are the shit. John Wick. John Wick Chapter 2. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Great movies, great action movies, but man, John Wick Chapter 4 is probably one of the best action films in this freaking decade. I love this movie so much. This is definitely my favorite in the series, and it probably has some of the best action scenes I have ever seen in a movie for a while. That stair scene, it's insane. Journey to the Center of the Earth. Childhood. Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. Jumanji The Next Level. Jumper. The Jungle Book. The remake of The Jungle Book. Jungle Cruise. Judas and the Black Messiah. The Jurassic Park trilogy. Yes, I replaced the individual movies with this box set. This is such a nice box set. It opens up like this. It's so nice. Yeah, Jurassic Park. You can't go wrong with Jurassic Park. These are some of the best movies of all time. The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, they're okay. They're watchable, especially Jurassic Park 3. I find it as a guilty pleasure. But of course, the first movie is a freaking classic. But of course, it's not over yet. We got the Jurassic World movies as well. We got Jurassic World, enjoyable movie. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Yeah, the first half was good, and then the rest, yeah. And man, I hate Jurassic World Dominion so much. It's definitely the worst Jurassic Park movie in the series, but I still kept it because of the Steelbook. Alright, now it's time for the Ks. And starting off with the K is another box set. Like the J's, we have the Karate Kid trilogy on 4K. Man, this is such a nice box set. It's such a beautiful box set. The first Karate Kid is probably like one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the Karate Kid so much. Like Pat Morita as Mr. Miyagi, rest in peace. You created one of the most legendary characters in movie history. 2 and 3, they have enjoyable moments. I really enjoyed this trilogy. And after Cobra Kai, I love this trilogy even more. Love the Karate Kid. And Cobra Kai is probably now one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm excited for the final season. The Kung Fu Kid. Not the Karate Kid, the Kung Fu Kid. Kingsman Secret Service. Kingsman The Golden Circle. The Kingsman. Obviously, the first one's the best out of the 3 of them. Kick-Ass. Speaking of Matthew Vaughn, who directed Kingsman. Man, I love Kick-Ass. Such a fun movie. Kick-Ass 2 has enjoyable moments, but yeah, not as good as the first one. Kill Bill's Volume 1 and 2. Man, such fun Tarantino movies. King Arthur Legend of the Sword. King Richard. Will Smith messed his Oscar win up. I'm not gonna lie. King Kong, the Peter Jackson one. Great movie. Night and Day. Knives Out. My favorite Rian Johnson movie. Man, why didn't we get Glass Onion on Blu-ray? I will definitely pick it up. Knock at the Cabin. Probably one of the better M. Night Shyamalan movies. Definitely. Kong Skull Island. And last in the K's, the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. Love this trilogy. And I'm interested in the 4th movie, that's for sure. And I would say the first one is definitely my favorite. Alright, now we're up to the L's. We have La La Land. Over Moon Knight, this should have won Best Picture. I love La La Land. Law-Abiding Citizen. Lady and the Tramp, another classic Disney film. I haven't seen the remake, actually. Lady Bird. Great film. The one who directed Barbie. Last Christmas. The Last Duel. Last Night in Soho. Very underrated Edgar Wright film that a lot of people are very mixed on. I really enjoyed it. Last Samurai. I Almost Dropped You. Now, one of the only TV shows I have in my collection, The Last of Us. Such a great series. I'm a fan of the games, and this movie is mostly accurate to the games. Love it. Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Gahul. Les Miserables, as my friend liked to call it, less miserable. I enjoy that movie though. The Lego Movie, everything is awesome. The Little Things. The Little Mermaid, Disney classic. I actually cannot wait to buy the remake, because the remake's also pretty good. Little Rascals, such a childhood classic for me. Loved this movie as a kid. Lilo and Stitch. Why is this movie getting a remake? Fucking why? Life of Pi. I might get this movie on 4K actually. I might replace this with a 4K because such a beautiful movie. Lights Out. Great movie until the end. Lightyear. Very underrated Pixar film. A lot of people didn't like that film. I really enjoyed it. Now this is one of my favorite Disney films of all time. The Lion King. This movie is seriously so revolutionary for me. It's my first movie I've ever watched. It's so special to me. Will never ever dislike this movie. Lion King is so good. The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. Pretty underrated straight to video sequel. I actually really did enjoy it. And yep. Surprised over why Disney live action movies should probably not happen. Love and Other Drugs. The second Criterion own, Love and Basketball. Pretty underrated romance movie. Love, Simon. Great coming of age movie. Love Actually. Another movie that I'll watch every single Christmas. Lone Survivor. The first movie in the Peter Berg, Mark Wahlberg, based on true story series. The Lost Boys, one of the best vampire movies of all time. Now we have one of the best trilogies, in my opinion, of all time. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. This is the theatrical editions. And also, I own the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Lone Ranger. Yeah, it's alright. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Guy Ritchie. Locke. Such a great Tom Hardy movie. He's just basically the kind of whole movie. Looper. Such a great movie. It looks really good on 4K. Lucy. Yeah, I'll probably get rid of this movie, to be honest with you. And The Last in the Elves, Luca. Pretty underrated Pixar film. Probably one of the most beautiful looking. I don't know why this movie isn't in theaters, but this is a very cute Pixar film. Alright, now, M's. Let's go. We got Man of Steel. Gotta miss Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought he was fantastic. Mamma Mia. Here we go again. Always wanted to do that. The Martian. Great film. Still great. The Maze Runner. The only one I'm probably going to own in the series. Mama. Yeah, The Maltese Falcon. I was about to say A Maltese Falcon, but lucky I looked at it. Maleficent. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Why do I own these movies? Sometimes I buy movies and I don't know why I did. The Matrix quadrilogy. The first one, of course, is one of my favorite movies of all time. The other movies, Reloaded, Revolutions, and Resurrections, just go fuck yourself. Mary Poppins, classic. Mary Poppins Returns, not a bad sequel. Madagascar. Great, fun anime film. Madagascar Escape to Africa. Africa, not Africa. Like, how do I say it like that? Europe's Most Wanted. I haven't seen this one in a long time. I remember seeing this in theaters on my birthday. The Mad Max trilogy. Fury Road, probably one of the best action films of the last decade, and I cannot wait to see the Furiosa spin-off next year. I think it's coming out next year. The Megalodon. Why not in the second one? It sucks. Look at this back steelbook cover. It's scary. I'm gonna turn around like that so it doesn't stare at me the whole Blu-ray collection video. Megan. Such a fun movie and a meaningful movie too. Meet the Robinsons, Disney's underrated anime film. Mean Girls. I love Mean Girls. That is so fetch. Megamind. Very underrated DreamWorks movie. I think that should get a sequel. Men in Black. Midway. Now, the Mission Impossible series. We have the first one, the second one, the third one, Ghost Protocol, The one I would say Ghost Protocol is the movie that made the Mission Impossible start off as a great franchise in my opinion. Rogue Nation. And my favorite in the series still, Fallout. I got the normal Blu-ray and this awesome Steelbook, and I will get Dead Reckoning Part 1, absolutely. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Minority Report. Monsters vs. Aliens, such a fun movie. Monsters Inc. Monsters University, not as good as the first one. Monster House, such a great childhood movie. The Mountain Between Us. Moulin Rouge. Fuck. Fucking dropped it. Moana. Sorry about my language. Why are they doing a remake of this as well? Come on. Mortal Kombat! And the 2021's Mortal Kombat, which I really enjoyed. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Angelina Jolie in this movie, just smoking. If it's your light up, fat dear. Hello! Robin Williams. This is, to me, his best film. I would say his best comedy. Mrs. Doubtfire, such a delight. Love Mrs. Doubtfire. Muppets from Space, childhood movie. We have The Mummy. The Mummy Returns. Terrible CGI Dwayne Johnson. Tomb of the Dragon Empire. Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. There we go. Said it. The Mule. Very underrated Clint Eastwood movie. Mulan. Classic Disney film. Mulan 2 sucks. And the remake also sucks. Murder on the Orient Express. Death on the Nile. Interested to see Haunting Venice. I think that's what the film's called. My Hero Academia. One of my favorite animes of all time. And Studio Ghibli's My Neighbor Totoro. This is a classic. If you haven't seen a Studio Ghibli movie, watch My Neighbor Totoro. With another movie I'm going to show you way later on in this video. It's a classic. Alright, now the end. Gosh, you fucking idiot. Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day. Napoleon Dynamite is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I would even say, I don't know if I consider it as an indie film. I would say it's my favorite indie film of all time. Never Back Down, basically Karate Kid with MMA. Night at a Museum. The Nightmare on... What am I saying? I was about to say Nightmare on Elm Street for a minute. The Nightmare Before Christmas. The Nice Guys. No Country for Old Men. Great film. Nobody. This is a badass film. Bob Odenkirk. Man. Why... I'm so tired, guys. I'm getting so exhausted. I was about to say, why doesn't this movie get a sequel? I was about to say that, and then my voice is just like shut down dead. Nope. Great Jordan Peele movie. A lot of people should recognize this movie even more. I find this movie one of the best original films that I've seen from last year. Nocturnal Animals. Noah. The Northman. Man, this movie was epic. The Nun. Not looking forward to The Nun 2. Alright, now O's. We have Oblivion. I don't know why I got this on 4K. Ocean's 11. Ocean's 12. And Ocean's 13. I own the Ocean's trilogy and I'm glad I did. Old. Why do I still own this movie? Onward. The last movie before the coronavirus I've seen in theaters. I'll always remember that from Onward. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with this really nice steelbook. I think the most unappreciated Tarantino film. I really enjoyed that film. The Other Guy is such a funny movie. And the last in the O's is probably one of the most underrated coming-of-age movies of all time. The Outsiders. I love this movie so much. This is one of my favorite films. This is a movie that we discovered a lot of big actors like Ralph Macchio, Tom Cruise, Matt Dillon. Just such big names. Patrick Swayze. Just such freaking big names. And yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a remake of this as well, honestly. I feel like people should recognize this movie even more, and I reckon it should get a remake. But Outsiders, fantastic coming-of-age film. Alright, now we're up to the P's. We have Paul in this really nice steelbook slipcover, and the Blu-ray's right here. Yeah, pretty underrated comedy actually. If you're a big sci-fi geek, you'll like this movie because it makes fun of that. Parasite, Patriots Day, Pacific Rim, badass movie. Pacific Rim Uprising, not so much. We have Paddingtons 1 and 2. Paul King is going to direct Wonka this year, which I'm very excited because these two movies are very delightful. Can't wait for the third one coming out as well. Peter Pan, the Disney version. You can fly. The Perfect Storm. Such a terrifying true story movie. Like, man. Makes me not want to work as a fisherman. Pinocchio. The remake sucks. Pineapple Express. Pitch Perfect 1, 2, and 3. I own those on 4K. I enjoyed the first two. The third one sucked. I enjoy those movies. I don't care. Now, don't kill me. I don't own these on 4K. I actually have the Blu-rays inside of them. I just love these covers more. Just to explain it to you guys. Yeah, you want proof? Yeah. I'll show you some proof. Because some people might not believe me. See? Blu-ray disc. So, yeah. So, we have Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Probably one of the best live-action Disney films of all time. Dead Man's Chest. I enjoyed Dead Man's Chest. And At World's End, yeah, way too long than it actually is. But I don't mind this trilogy. Especially the first one. The first one is so good. I love the first one. Pixar Short Films, Volume 1 and Volume 2. My phone interrupted me. Platoon. The Planet of the Apes franchise of the Primal Collection. It includes Planet of the Apes, Beneath all the Planet of the Apes, Escape from Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, Battle for the Planet of the Apes, the shitty 2001 movie, and it has Rise and Dawn of Planet of the Apes as well, which I already own those coming up next, but, you know, I've only seen the original Planet of the Apes, I need to watch the rest, and, you know, we got the new one coming out next year, so it's a perfect time to watch them, and I have this awesome trilogy right here, Rise, Dawn, and War for the Planet of the Apes, all in 4K. Love these movies so much. And yes, respect you, Caesar. I'm wearing the Caesar t-shirt because these three movies are fucking incredible. Polite Society. Now, yes, I haven't had a chance to review this movie. I have reviewed this movie on TikTok. This is such an underrated movie that came out this year. This is such a fun movie. If you love Edgar Wright with a bit of Bollywood in it, this is definitely a fun movie for you. I really enjoy that movie. Poltergeist, in this nice digibook. Point Break, such a fun movie. The Polar Express. Power Rangers. Promising Young Woman. Prisoners, the first time that I discovered Denis Villeneuve as a director. Great movie. Project Almanac. Prometheus, yeah, didn't like that movie. The double feature of Dawn of the Dinosaurs and March of the Dinosaurs, sorry, my apologies, and Prehistoric Park. I got it for Prehistoric Park because I remember watching this documentary. Well, it's more of a mockumentary. I enjoyed that as a kid. I remember in prep, we watched it. It's such an interesting show. You should check it out, even though the CGI of the dinosaurs do not hold up. The Prestige, a very underrated Christopher Nolan film. The Princess Bride. Very interesting cover this movie came with, see? It's both the titles, even if you put it upside down. Pretty interesting. The Princess Bride, classic. The Princess Diaries 1 and 2. I enjoyed those as a kid. The Princess and the Frog. Now we have Predator. Get to the chopper. Come on, Predator. Just great movie. Predator 2. Predators. And The Abomination Against Humanity. Psycho. Classic Alfred Hitchcock. Probably the best Alfred Hitchcock movie of all time. Come on. Pulp Fiction. My favorite Tarantino film of all time. I love Pulp Fiction so much. It's just random scenes of dialogue and it just made it so intriguing. And the last in the piece is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. My favorite animated film that came out last year. Wasn't in time for this movie, so this movie was a big surprise. Definitely the best Shrek film since Shrek 2. So, guys, that's it for this shelf right there. Let's take another intermission break, and then we'll bring up the rest of the Blu-ray collection video. So, of course, let's take another break.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Welcome back, guys, from another intermission break. Just done putting movies from this shelf away. Now this shelf right here, and yep, this is the last big piles in my Blu-ray collection video. Yep, this is a long video already. From editing process, this is actually shorter than I thought it was going to be because I was going mostly rapid fire on these movies. But this feels really long for me because I have so many movies and I still have a lot more to go. So, let's finish this sucker. So, Q. These are the only two I have in my queues, is A Quiet Place 1 and 2. Two really good horror films, both directed by John Krasinski. The first one I did like better than the second one, but I enjoyed them both. I thought they're both really good original horror films. So, Q done. Now, let's get into the R's. We have Rambo First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo Last Blood. I will get the other Rambo movies when I can. Race to Rich Mountain, childhood movie. I liked it when it came out. Ratatouille, great Pixar film. Not my favorite, to be honest, but still pretty good. Rampage, such a cheesy movie. Raging Bull, Raya and the Last Dragon, a great Disney film that came out a couple years ago. Rebel Without a Cause. I bought this movie blind. My friend Ethan recommended me this movie. We watched it together. This is actually a really fantastic film, and rest in peace James Dean for doing free films. The Revenant, Reservoir Dogs, of course, Tarantino, great film. Ready Player One, probably Steven Spielberg's most underrated film. I enjoy Ready Player One, and it looks great in 4K. Ready or Not, such a fun movie. Red. Real Steel, such an underrated movie about robot boxing. Something that I wish is going to happen in the future. If they're going to use AI, do it for robot boxing. The Ring, one of the most terrifying movies, in my opinion, ever made. Rise of the Guardians. Rocket Man. Romeo and Juliet, the 60s film. The one that's the most accurate. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, which, you know, nostalgic because I watched that movie at school, and Leonardo DiCaprio is such a good actor. What's so bad, Adrian? Terrible Sylvester Stallone impression. The Rocky movies, including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Rocky Balboa. You know, the Rocky movies is probably one of my favorite film franchises of all time. The first two are good movies in general, but 3 and 4 always holds a special place in my heart. They're cheesy movies, but fun movies. 5 I don't hate, as everyone else does, and Rocky Balboa is actually pretty underrated. So yeah, I love the Rocky series. Ron's Gone Wrong, a pretty underrated anime film that came out last year. Winners Go Home and Fuck the Prom Queen, The Rock, probably the best Michael Bay movie. Yes, what a story, Mark. The Room, yes, I own The Room. I found this for $50 at a pawn Blu-ray shop. So glad I own it. One of the worst movies ever made, but also one of the most fun movies ever made to watch, and I want to watch this in theaters, honestly. I want to have the experience that everyone experienced when they watched that movie. The Rocketeer, one of the most underrated superhero films of all time, and one of the most underrated Disney live-action films, in my opinion. The Road, still haven't seen it. This was my dad's. And the last Criterion in my collection, Roma. Fantastic movie, and the last in the R's is the original RoboCop.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Alright, now prepare for the longest letters in my Blu-ray collection, S's. Let's just go rapid fire. We have Saw, The Sapphires, Sausage Party, Saving Private Ryan, one of my favorite war films of all time, Saving Mr. Banks, a movie about the making of Mary Poppins, Tom Hanks' Walt Disney, The School of Rock! Yeah. Scarface, say hello to my little friend. The Scream collection includes the first 4 movies. I love the Scream franchise. Scream, or Scream 5. And Scream 6. I'm trying to explain the VI. Whatever. Yeah, great movie that came out of this year as well. And I cannot wait for the 7th one that's going to be directed by Chris Landon, who did Happy Death Day. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, another of my favorite Edgar Wright films. Searching. I wonder if I'm missing one day on Blu-ray. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. The Secret Life of Pets. Cute movie. Shazam. The Steelbook of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Pretty nice steelbook. Shutter Island. The Shallows. The Shawshank Redemption. Great movie. Shrek. Love Shrek. Never go wrong with Shrek. And never go wrong with Shrek 2. Probably the best Shrek movie in the series still. Sherlock Holmes. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Fantastic MCU film. That I find it pretty underrated, actually. The Silence of the Lambs. Singing in the Rain. One of my favorite musicals of all time. Such a classic. Don't remake this movie, Hollywood. Whatever you do. Sing. Sing 2. I like those elimination movies. The Shining. Classic. Here's Johnny. The Simpsons movie. Sinister, another one of the most creepiest films of all time. Sin City. The Sixth Sense. I see dead people. Sicario. Great Denis Villeneuve film. Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Great sequel. Not as good as the first one. Skyscraper. It's basically Die Hard with Dwayne Johnson. Sky High. Another underrated superhero film and underrated Disney film. Sleeping Beauty. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Not looking forward to this remake, to be honest. Without dwarves and what Rachel Zegler is saying about Snow White, she's still my celebrity crush, but that really breaks my heart, whatever she says about Snow White. That's really terrible, Rachel Zegler. I'm sorry. Hopefully you're not watching this video. The Source Code. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, better than the first one. The Social Network. Fantastic movie. Southpaw. Soul, another great Pixar film. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Space Jam, such a fun 90s kids movie. And in my opinion, I enjoyed Space Jam: A New Legacy. Such a fun movie, it knows what it is. It's definitely a Warner Bros. Property movie, but, you know, the first Space Jam was as well. Spartacus, have not seen this movie, I'm sorry, but I own it anyway. Now the Spider-Man movies, we have Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, my favourite in the Sam Raimi trilogy. Spider-Man 3, I enjoyed it for what it was. Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man No Way Home, the normal Blu-ray and this nice steelbook that I'm still keeping. No Way Home. I kind of regret saying from the other films there's no surprises anymore with Civil War. Spider-Man No Way Home brought that. Come on, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland together, it's like a kid's dream come true. And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, fantastic movie. Cannot wait to get across the Spider-Verse on 4K. Split. Spirited Away. This is definitely one of the best Studio Ghibli anime films. It's fantastic. Spirit.
Here's the plot synopsis.
Siri! Stop interrupting my Blu-ray collection! Spirit. Spawn. Guilty pleasure, but man, that movie sucked. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Loved this movie as a kid. Speed. One of my favorite action movies of all time. Stand By Me. Childhood. I love this movie. And it actually looks really good on 4K. A Star Is Born in this nice steelbook. Now we have the Star Wars movies, and of course we got the Star Wars The Complete Saga box set. It includes the original and prequel trilogy. Of course the original is better than the prequel trilogy. We have Star Wars The Force Awakens. Star Wars The Last Jedi. I don't give a shit what people say, I did like this movie. But I agree people, Rise of Skywalker sucked. Rey Skywalker, really? And I heard they're making another Rey movie with Idris Elba playing the villain. I'm still interested, but yeah, I'm starting to lose big faith in Star Wars. Rogue One. And last in the Star Wars movie, Solo: A Star Wars Story. Star Trek. Star Trek Into Darkness. Star Trek Beyond, my least in the trilogy. Straight Outta Compton. Such a great film. Storks, such a fun movie. Steve Jobs, pretty underrated movie. Michael Fassbender really nails this film. And Danny Boyle directed this film? Yes, he did. Suicide Squad, that crappy David Ayer film. The Suicide Squad. Such a great film. And now after this film, I'm excited to see what James Gunn can do with the new DC universe. Sully. The Super Mario Bros. Movie. Such a fun movie. Peaches, peaches, peaches. That song better be nominated. Super 8, such an underrated film. Now, we have Superman the movie, classic. Superman 2, this is the Richard Donner cut, the best cut of that movie. Superman 3, yeah. And one of the worst comic book movies ever freaking made. Why I got that in 4K. And the Superman animated shorts from the 40s. I remember loving these as a kid. I remember having the DVD version of this. And oh my god, this is so nostalgic. Classic Superman. Sweeney Todd. And finally the last out of the S's, The Sword in the Stone. Definitely one of Disney's most underrated movies. Alright, S is done. One of the biggest piles in my Blu-ray collection. Now, with the T's. We have Tarzan. Another underrated Disney film. Taken. Yes, I own this. This is the very first steelbook I've owned, so keep it for memory. Tangled, in my opinion, better than Frozen. And I can't believe they're doing a live action of that, even though I don't know about Florence Pugh playing Rapunzel, to be honest. I find it pretty interesting, though. Taxi Driver. Talladega Nights, The Battle of Ricky Bobby. This is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Probably the funniest Will Ferrell movie. Ricky Bobby. Shaking Bacon. Tenet. Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Now the Terminator series. We got The Terminator, classic. One of my favorite movies ever made, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Love that movie so much. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. Terminator Salvation. Yeah, Terminator Genesis. Honestly, I kind of like this more than Dark Fate. Because this movie ruins the entire franchise, in my opinion. Ted 2. Tekken. Liked it as a kid, but yeah, this movie does not hold up. This Is the End. Such a hilarious movie. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 4. For the Dark World. For Ragnarok, probably in my top 10 favorite MCU films. Still don't have Love and Thunder. I don't know if I want to get it, to be honest. That movie really disappointed me. The Thing, classic. This is the remake, by the way, not the original. Titanic, speaking of classics. Tombstone. The 2017's Tomb Raider, which I enjoyed. A lot of people didn't seem to like that movie. I thought Lisa Vikander really nails it. Total Recall! Some man just tried to kill me! Like, this is the classic Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Come on. And the remake of Total Recall. I haven't watched this in a very long time, but I remember when I first watched it, I really enjoyed it. Tomorrow When the War Began. Top Gun, classic 80s film. But man, Top Gun Maverick, in my opinion, saves cinema. Such a fantastic film. Toy Story. Toy Story 2, in my opinion, my favorite in the series. Love Toy Story 2. Toy Story 3, supposed to be the perfect conclusion in the series. But we got Toy Story 4, which I did enjoy. But come on, why are they making a Toy Story 5? The original Tron. Tron Legacy. Interested in the third one coming out with Jared Leto. I don't know if that's still happening. Transformers. I don't give a shit. I love the first Transformers. Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah, guilty pleasure. Dark of the Moon. Yeah, it's alright. It's better than Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah, but Age of Extinction, yeah. And The Last Night. When we're all done with Michael Bay Transformers movies. Train to Busan. I cried during a zombie movie. That is like my... That would be my Letterboxd review of that movie. Troy. Treasure Planet. If they're gonna do Disney live action remakes, more of them, do one for Treasure Planet. Because I'm curious to see one. True Grit, Coen Brothers. Turning Red. I appreciate this movie from rewatch. Still not the best Pixar film though. So bad it's good. I'm not gonna own the other movies though. They're terrible. And the last in the tease, Twister. Interested in the sequel that's coming out, Twisters? Not gonna lie, pretty interested. I don't think we ever got disaster movies in a very long time. Okay, T done, now you. So we got Unfriended. Unbreakable, my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film ever. Love that film so much. Probably my favorite movies. Unstoppable. Unhinged, man, how much weight did Russell Crowe put in this movie? My God. Unforgiven. And, no, not The Last in the Years. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nick Cage. Upgrade. People saying that's a better version of Venom. I do agree with that, to be honest, even though I still love Venom. Up, classic Pixar film, probably the most saddest Pixar film from the beginning of the film. And The Last in the Years is Us. My least favorite Jordan Peele movie, but I still really enjoyed it. Now, V. So we got Remember, the 5th of November. V for Vendetta. Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation, classic comedy. Van Helsing. I enjoyed this movie. Guilty pleasure. Venom. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Not as good as the first one. I enjoyed the first Venom. I don't care. Looking forward to the third one, though. The Visit. And the last in the V's, Victor Frankenstein. Alright, now W. Walk the Line. Probably my favorite music biopics of all time. A Walk to Remember. Yes, I own this movie. Remember watching this at school because in English we're studying about love, so we watched this movie, and it's not about Nicholas Sparks' movie, honestly. Probably the best out of him. Watchmen, great Zack Snyder movie. Wall-E, The Way Back, War of the Worlds, another underrated Steven Spielberg movie. The Wedding Singer, the best Adam Sandler movie in comedy-wise. West Side Story. Talking about my favorite musical of all time. This is the classic 60s film and the remake of West Side Story. Probably now my top 50 favorite films of all time. I love this movie so much. This is such a great musical. Steven Spielberg, this is definitely one of his better films in a long time. Love that movie. And Rachel Zegler, you're still pretty and I kind of forgive you, but still, what you doing with Snow White? Come on. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? The Whale. Such a depressing and disturbing movie, but Brendan Fraser, you definitely earned that Oscar. The Witch. Are you rushing or are you dragging? Whiplash. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'll definitely review this movie when Wonka comes out. This is one of my favorite childhood movies. Love this movie. And speaking of childhood movies, The Wizard of Oz. Why they're remaking this movie, I don't understand. I replaced the 4K with this awesome Blu-ray with this nice slipcover. The Wizard of Oz, classic. Like, Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory and The Wizard of Oz are like my two favorite childhood movies. World War Z. The Woman King, a very underrated film that came out last year. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1984, nice Spielberg, but a crappy movie. And yeah, Gal Gadot is somehow still involved in James Gunn's universe. I don't know if she's still starring as Wonder Woman, or she's just, like, producing, some people rumored. We'll see what happens. Wonder. Again, my watch interrupted. Wolf Creek, such a disturbing movie. Come on, viewers. Come on, The Wolf of Wall Street. Can't go wrong with that movie. Why didn't Leonardo DiCaprio win an Oscar for that one? Wreck-It Ralph. And the last in the W's is Ralph Breaks the Internet. Well, guys, we are here. The last pile, finally, in my Blu-ray collection. So let's finish this sucker. So, of course, X's. And the only X's I have in my collection is the X-Men movies. So, we got X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men United, X-Men Last Stand, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Hopefully they make fun of that movie in Deadpool 3. X-Men First Class, The Wolverine, Days of Future Past, my favorite X-Men movie of all time. Such a fantastic movie. Apocalypse, pretty underrated film in the series. Logan, this is a fantastic movie and a great send-off to Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Until now, he's coming back for Deadpool 3, but still, it still feels like a standoff because, of course, Deadpool 3 doesn't take place during Logan, so I still consider it as a send-off. Dark Phoenix, terrible movie, the worst of the series. and The New Moons. Very disappointing movie. So X is done. Now I have one Y in my Blu-ray collection. This is one of my favorite anime movies of all time, and that is Your Name. This is a beautiful movie. If you have not seen this movie, check it out. This is definitely one of the most beautiful romantic anime films that I have ever seen. Alright, now the last letter in my Blu-ray collection video, the Z, and we have another one of my favorite childhood movies, Zathura. Man, such a great child movie. I love that movie. I think it's better than Jumanji, in my opinion. Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is how the movie should have been. I know what happened to Zack Snyder is terrible. They should have just cancelled the movie and put more delays and bring up this. And now this finally came. This is my favorite movie in the Zack Snyder DC Extended Universe. Fantastic. Zombieland. Zombieland Double Tap, two really fun movies, and finally the last Blu-ray I own in this collection, and I think this ends off everyone's Blu-ray collection video, Zootopia. Another great Disney film. Cannot wait for, I think they are doing a sequel to this film, so definitely I am interested. Yes! Finally! That is my complete Blu-ray collection for 2023, guys. Man, this video was tiring. It was a lot of work. But you know what? I do this every year for you guys. And this might be the shortest Blu-ray collection video because I'm going rapid fire. But you know what? I definitely own more Blu-rays since last year. And next year is going to be even more crazy probably. So, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this fun video. Hopefully you guys are tired out for watching how many Blu-rays I own. More reviews are going to come up very soon for Gran Turismo. The Last Voyage of Demeter, you know, all those movie reviews are coming up very, very soon, and I have a top 10 list also coming out of my most anticipated films for the rest of 2021, so, I mean, my most anticipated films for the rest of 2023. Look forward to that. So, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video, another great Blu-ray collection video. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below, keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie-related content. Thank you guys for watching this video, and have a nice day.